A good day to all of you little ones. Today, we will be creating the 55th project in our lesson series. So let's get started. First, click on the plus mark at the top corner of the screen to open a new tab. Next, type thunkable.com into the address bar and press the enter button. You are now on the Thunkable website. Now, click the plus mark at the top corner of the screen again to open another tab and navigate to the dpcode.lk website. Click on lesson number 293. Here, click the Start Project button. You have now entered the project. In our previous lesson, we created a part of the News app. Today, we will be creating the second part of this app. I have already added the first part of the News app we created in the previous lesson. If anyone hasn't watched our 55th lesson, go watch the 55th project using the thunkable.com website now. From here on, let's add the code to the project. As you can see, we have designed the project as needed in our previous lesson. The three sections we created are displayed like this. Okay, next we need to create the code. But first, let's see what happens in this app. When the News app is opened, the home screen is displayed like this. Along with that, we need the breaking news to be displayed in the empty label below the breaking news label. Next, when we click on sports or science, the relevant screen loads, reverts to the news from the database we created and displays it on each screen. When the home button is clicked again, the home screen loads. Okay, let's first create the code for the home screen. I'm going to the Blocks tab. First, let's create the code for loading the sports screen or the science screen when we click on the sports image or the science image. I'll drag the When Sport Click code block under Sports here. Now, I'll drag the Navigate to code block under Control into the When Sport Click code block. Click on the arrow and select Sport. Similarly, we need to create the code for the science screen as well. For that, let's duplicate this code. I'll right-click on the When Sport Click code block and select Duplicate. Let's drag the duplicated code block down and change Sport to Science and Screen to Science 1. Okay. Next, we need to display the breaking news in the news label below the breaking news label. Do you remember how the headings of the breaking news that are displayed during the TV news are shown at the bottom of the screen? Yes, the text moves letter by letter across the screen, right? Let's display the breaking news in the same way here. Since we need the breaking news to be displayed as soon as the home screen opens, I will drag the When Home Opens code block under Home here. Now, let's display the news corresponding to the 0 key in the real-time database we created in the news label. For that, I'll drag the Call Real-Time DB1's Get code block under Real-Time DB1 here. Provide 0 for the key. Next, let's drag the Set News's text to code block under News here and connect it to the value code block linked to the Call Real-Time DB1's Get code block. Alright, now we have displayed the breaking news in the news label. But we haven't yet created the functionality to move the news across the screen. For that, I'll drag the Forever code block below the Call Real-Time DB1's Get code block. Notice that I'm dragging this code block inside the When Home Opens code block. Next, I'll drag a Set News's text code block from News here. Then I'll connect a Join code block from Text here. I'll drag the Hello code block to the Recycle bin to remove it. Now, I'll connect the News's text code block from News like this. I'll also drag the World code block to the Recycle bin to remove it. Here, I'll connect the In Text Get Letter code block from Text. Again, for the text, I'll connect the News's text code block from News. Alright, now we have displayed the first letter. Additionally, we need to display the letters from the second letter to the last letter. I'll drag another set of News's text code block from the News category here. I'll connect an In Text Get substring from code block from Text here. For the text, I'll connect the News's text code block from News here. Set the letter to 2. For the last letter, we can't provide a specific number. So I'll drag the length of code block from Text and connect it to the News's text code block from News here. To add a delay between displaying the letters, I'll drag a Wait 1 seconds code block from Control here and change the duration to 0.4 seconds. Alright, now we have displayed the breaking news the way we wanted. Here's one more thing to do. When the data in the database is updated, the breaking news displayed in the news label should also be updated accordingly. For that, I'll drag the when real-time DB1's data change code block from real-time DB1. For the rest of the code, we can duplicate parts of the when home opens code block. I'll right-click on the call real-time DB's one get code block and select duplicate. Drag the duplicated code block inside the when real-time DB1's data change code block. Similarly, duplicate the forever code block here and drag it like this. Alright. Now, we have completed creating the code for the home screen. Next, let's move on to the sports screen. Here, we need to display the news corresponding to the keys 1, 2, 3 in the real-time database in a sample list. Let's see how to create the code for this. Since we need the news to be displayed as soon as the sports screen loads, first, I will drag the when sports starts code block from sports here. Now let's drag a forever code block from control inside it. Next, drag a call real-time DB's one get code block from real-time DB1 inside the forever code block. Provide 1 for the key. Now drag a set sports1 text item to code block from sports1 inside the call real-time DB's one get code block. I will connect a list code block from list here. However, we don't need 3 list items for this. We only need 1 list item. To remove the remaining 2 list items, click the settings icon here. Drag the bottom 2 items from the 3 items to the left side of the box like this. Alright. Now click settings icon here. You can see that only 1 item is left in the code block as we wanted. Drag the remaining code blocks to the recycle bin like this. Now connect the value code block attached to the call real-time DB's one get code block to the list code block like this. Next, similarly display the news for the key 2 in sports 2 sample list and the news for the key 3 in the sports 3 sample list. For that, we can duplicate this code and change the necessary parts. I'll right-click on the when sports starts code block and select duplicate. Drag the duplicated code block down like this. Change the key to 2. Also set the sample list to sports 2. Again, select duplicate this code block. Change the key to 3 and set the sample list to sports 3. You might remember that we created a home button at the bottom of the sports screen. When the home button is clicked, the home screen should be loaded. For that, I'll drag the when button one click code block from button 1 here. Now drag a navigate to home code block from control into the when button 1 click code block. Alright, now we have finished creating the code for the sports screen. Next, let's create the code for the science screen similarly. I'll now go to the science 1 screen. Here, we need to display the news corresponding to the keys 4, 5, 6 in the real-time database in a sample list. Let's see how to create the code for this. Since we need the news to be displayed as soon as the Science 1 screen loads, first I will drag the when Science 1 starts code block from Science 1 here. Now drag a forever code block from control into it. Next, drag a call real-time DB1's get code block from real-time DB1 into the forever code block. Provide 4 for the key. Now drag a set Science 1's text item to code block from Science 1 into the call real-time DB1's get code block. Connect a list code block from list here. However, we don't need 3 list items for this. We only need 1 list item. To remove the remaining 2 list items, click the settings icon here. Drag the bottom 2 items from the 3 items to the left side of the box like this. Alright, now click the settings icon again. Drag the remaining code blocks to the recycle bin like this. Now connect the value code block attached to the call real-time DB1's get code block to the list code block like this. Next, similarly display the news for key 5 in the Science 5 sample list and the news for key 6 in the Science 6 sample list. For that, we can duplicate this code and change the necessary parts. I will right-click on the when Science 1 starts code block and select duplicate. Drag the duplicated code block down like this. Change the key to 5. Also set the sample list to Science 5. Again, duplicate this code block. Change the key to 6 and set the sample list to Science 6. You might remember that we created a home button at the bottom of the Science screen 1. When the home button is clicked, the home screen should load. For that, I'll drag the when button 2 click code block from button 2 here. Now drag a navigate to home code block from control into the button 2 click code block. Now we have completed the news app entirely. You can live test the app to see how it works. If you have done it like this, you little ones are very talented. Send your creation to me on WhatsApp at note 76 812 5244 for me to take a look. Tell your friends about the creation as well. Send the app to your friends as well to see. And one more thing. Join the DP Coding School Telegram group and try to lead the DP Code Champ Best of the Week once every week. Stay with us for that. Additionally, you can now join our DP Coding Club. You can start a DP Coding Club in your school as well. We are ready to give you all the guidance for that. If any school with computer labs are interested in starting a DP Coding Club, make a request to the principal to info@dpcc.lk. So see you with another interesting lesson through DP Coding School. Have a nice day.